Sup, everybody? It's D's Work. Got the reaction. I'm about to react Larry again. And, I guess he's talking about California. And I'm from California, so let's see. He said why California is a disaster. And if you think about it, California been changed the last couple years bad. I mean, it's always go little by little, but now and there's all these rules are going. It's not even doesn't make no sense all the time. Cause kids, you can change your gender now. You can be like a guy to girl, girl and guy. And if you have a kid, and if you don't support that, they could take your kids. And freaking homeless everywhere. Like where I live, there's a lot of homeless now. I mean, there's always been homeless, but it's even double or triple worse now, even more. And everything else, it's just all. And then taxes came up more, and everything you go to the stores, it's freaking expensive as hell. Shoot, everything, it's just all bad. But all right, let's see what Larry's gonna be saying this right now. All right, let's go. 3, 2, go.
California.
Oops.
Why haven't you left yet? Why
Oops. Oops, I forgot to put my thing on. My bad, everybody.
In California.
This is where I'm from. My friends are there. My church is there. My memories are there. And frankly, if you live in California, you bought a home, say in the 80s, you're doing very, very well. Your house is appreciated like crazy. I got a lot of equity in my home, so I'm living quite well, as long as I avoid the homeless people and the needles. And
Yeah.
I'm serious about that. I live in a very nice place in Hollywood Hills. I could go maybe 2 or 3 blocks, and on either side of the street are a bunch of vans full of people who shouldn't
Hollywood
be living
Hills.
in there. Yeah, Hollywood Hills.
Oh yeah, that thing
Shouldn't be
is
living there.
so many
There's a
homeless over there.
Real
I
bad
heard.
homeless problems in the area where I live. Antonio Villaraigosa, by the way, after the recall was over, said, "I've never seen L.A. look so dirty. I've never seen so much homelessness." He didn't say anything during the recall, but he said it afterwards. It's pretty pathetic. And
real.
the Bay Area is even worse.
What happened to it? I mean,
Oh man, the Bay is like that too, man. If you go in San Francisco too, or Oakland, or the place right there, I mean, you go right there to some kind of events because they have a lot of things like events. And I went the last couple, here and there, still go there, and they're still homeless and all that kind of. It's just weird, man. It's just, I mean, some people they have a different kind of vibe, and I'm tripping because everybody's different where they're from and where they live or anything like that. But homeless stuff and all that kind of things, it's on some out of pocket sometimes. Like, the hell y'all talking about?
for a guy that's been there your entire life, I lived there 24 years. Vinny lived there, I don't know how many
15 years?
Tom, you lived there how many years?
40.
40 years. So we're all California natives. He's a Florida guy. He's actually an Addison guy, Addison, Texas guy, born and raised in Addison, Texas.
Miami, but I love for
by
Addison.
way of Addison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
So
Jew. Pat's trolling me.
The evolution of this great state that the California dreaming, right? Everybody, mamas and papas, everybody wanted to go
Right.
to this place. What happened to it?
Single party government, Democrats. Democrats control the Assembly, the Senate. They have 2/3 majority. Republicans need not even show up for work. They pass one job-killing bill after another, one freedom-sapping bill after another. They're in bed with the teachers union. They're in bed with the environmentalists. And they've just passed one law after another that's undermining the middle class. Very wealthy people can survive. Very poor people can survive. It's the middle-class people who are leaving.
And Larry,
The average price of a home in California is 175% above the national average. Think about that. The number one reason that people cite for leaving is they cannot afford to buy a house.
Fact.
And they have
That's
no
what-
idea
yeah.
why. They just know they can't afford to buy one. That's why when people leave California, go to places like Colorado and Arizona, they start changing those states because they still vote Democrat because they haven't connected the dots.
Yeah.
Oh, they still vote Democrat.
I mean, if you think about it too, man, because where I live, though, it's like in the valley, so it's different. But it's about 30, 40 minutes from the Bay. And a lot of people, especially go right there in Oakland and Richmond and stuff right there. I got no problem. That's where you're born and raised and everything. But the thing is, for me, it goes little by little. A lot of people from the Bay are moving into where I live, around where I live. And a lot of these people, man, it's they're like they're from the hood and stuff, so it makes where I live, it's more even, it's already like freaking, it's already danger and stuff, they say. But now you have people right there from the ghetto that's going more to more ghetto right there. It's more, you can have like thousands of people that moved. It's even worse, bro. It's like right there earlier this year. I think it was it was earlier this year. There was a serial killer, and this dude was killing people for like 2 years. And that dude started right there. He was shooting homeless people right there from the Bay, and then he came right there in the valley where I live. They found him. I think he shot like 9, 10 people and stuff. Well, most of the people were homeless people. I'm like, damn. And I'm just like, man, see that? We always got to get some weird people that comes over there and just not in their mindset. They're just weird. Shoot. I don't think they say weird. They're weird. But all right, let's go. I mean, my bad. I'm not trying to say if you're from the Bay, though. I'm just saying, though, like, there are people that move into, like, the lower people, and they are weird. And, man, and I don't like that stuff. They're like, dude.
Leave.
They haven't connected the dots. They don't know why. All they know is that things are not. I can't get the kind of lifestyle that I want. I can get a better lifestyle in this state, that state, that state, but they have no idea why.
So they're just attributing it to the cost of living. That's it.
Or whatever.
And how much is the average house in California compared to the national?
I think the average price of a home in California is about $800,000.
Yep, $741.
Look at that.
Yeah,
I didn't even see that, and I did it already.
Yeah.
Nice.
For real, it
impressed?
came up
Are
the
you
last
impressed?
couple
To
years
back up
crazy.
what Larry's talking about, go take a look at the history of Colorado, Phoenix, and Austin. Excuse me, Denver, Phoenix, and Austin. It's exactly what he's talking about, where
By
they
half,
move in
huh?
and they turn red to lavender and then blue.
I figured it'd be the exact opposite. People leaving California being like, I can't take the restrictions, I can't take the taxes, I can't take the regulation, the
taxes.
homelessness, everything just combined. It's like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go live my life. I'm an independent thinker and move to a state where I can just do me. But you're basically saying, no, they're just going to continue their left-leaning policies, that even in
Spend
states
some
that are
time in
political.
Austin and Denver.
They have
And plus, that dude that was running California, I mean, he still is trying to be the president. That dude garbage, man. He's talking hecka stuff about put that mask and making so big thing, like a big deal. But this dude, you could find him a lot of internets and pictures and videos. This dude is walking around with no mask at all. That's why when you go in the Bay or LA, you have to have a mask when you do this place. Like I went to San Francisco maybe like 2 years ago. I went to go watch the dance. I think it was like the Elite Eight, San Francisco, and you have to have a mask. You have to do this and this and this. It was going all crazy. And then if you have into a Lyft, Uber, you have to have a mask. If you don't, then you can't go in. Like, nah, you have a mask. Like, damn, man, you already have your mask on. What's the difference between mine and yours? Oh, precaution. Like, precaution what? You're like, I brush my teeth, man. Did you brush your teeth? We good. Shoo.
indoctrinated people in California to believe Republicans are just bad people.
Gotcha.
And anything Republican is bad. I mean, I'm pro-life, therefore I'm anti-woman. That's how they phrase it. I believe taxes are too high, therefore I'm for the rich. I mean, that's what they do, and they have indoctrinated a whole generation of people, young people in California, to feel that way.
Let me ask this question, Tom. This goes to you and to Larry. So, do you think we had teachers protesting against DeSantis here, and they're saying, Florida anti-woke agenda is causing us to want to leave the state of Florida, and some people in Florida are like, great, go to California, right?
Where you belong.
Yeah. So do you think more Democrats are leaving red states because they can no longer be there and they're finding blue states, or do you think more conservatives, Republicans are leaving blue states, finding red states to go to?
Interesting.
I think a little bit of both, but I think that surely the red states are the ones that are growing. You look at, there's a map that shows you where taxes are going, and they're going to red states. I think people feel the schools are better. There's less regulation, a lower cost of living, greater economic opportunity. So I think both Republicans and Democrats are leaving for those reasons. I just think that Democrats have not figured out that there is a reason why these things are causing you to leave.
I would agree with that. My independent research would say it's probably 7-3. 7 is the conservatives.
So Tom's a fact check guy. When you say something, is it that
No.
Tom's Mr. Wikipedia is what we call it.
But I'll
It's very impressive. No, seriously.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Say
My wife
Wikipedia.
got out of college, Cal State
Hello.
Northridge, and she started teaching. So she was at LA Unified, which for other people is
is
the largest school district in the United States, and it's actually too large to self-manage. And the teachers union there, very, very blue, but very, very upset. And these teachers have been leaving, and they've been going to Phoenix and they've been going to Riverside even, and out to areas where they feel that they can that they can be a teacher with a better cost of living. And so my informal analysis of it is I'm seeing 8-2 or 7-3. To your question, I agree. It's a little bit of both.
And Tom, I mentioned Villaraigosa earlier, the former mayor of L.A. When he was running the first time, his wife is a teacher at LAUSD. Mm-hmm. And he was asked, why don't you have your own kids at LAUSD?
I remember this. And the wall in front of his house.
You're a big proponent of public schools. You oppose school choice. And he said, and I quote, I would never sacrifice my...
Many people want to go to law school, but they just can't. The hybrid GED program
come on, man.
fills that gap.
Let's go.
My kid by putting my kid in an LAUSD school.
Wow.
And
I'm running for mayor of this fine city.
And he did not win because of that comment.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, at least he was being honest.
At least he's honest, yeah.
Yeah.
At least he's honest. At least he's not telling the. And by the way, it's so funny you're saying this. We're talking about California. I'm actually really curious. And the reason why I'm asking this question is because which one is outwardly blue, but internally they feel safer in a red state, right? Because think about it. Socialists feel safer in a capitalistic society, right? They don't want to leave this place. If you really feel safer being in a socialist society, go to a socialist country. Why stay in America? So I think more red is willing to leave blue, and I don't think blue leaves red. I think blue feels safer in red, while red doesn't feel safer in blue because they're not welcome.
I think you're making it more complicated.
Red pill, blue pill. Which one y'all want? Which one y'all want?
I think it's just a lot of hypocrisy. For example, there was a study some years ago where government school teachers, that's a term I prefer instead of public school, government school teachers were asked, with school-age kids were asked where you put your own kids. Nationwide, 10% of us have our kids in private school, 6% of black families do. 49% of Philadelphia public school teachers with school-age kids had their own kids in private school. 39% Chicago public school teachers with school-age kids put their own kids in private school. The head of the Chicago Teachers Union recently said that school choice was racist. Her own kid is in private school.
What the heck?
I have a question.
It's just hypocrisy.
Let me.
Hey, about Larry right there, this dude has so much facts and knows a lot of these things when he talks about it. Like, and talking about every state and every city and all that kind of stuff. It's like, dang, man, he probably reads books every day. Probably before he go to sleep, or when he get up, eating breakfast. Dude, he got all that fact, all those kind of facts and having the statistics and all that stuff. That's crazy. All right, let's keep going.
You stay on this.
It's
By the way,
rank hypocrisy.
stats came up just to.
He does too.
Brandon and I were doing this video to see during COVID, top 10 highest tax states and the bottom lowest tax states. Okay, during COVID, the top 10 highest tax states lost $341 billion of AGI.
Damn.
Okay, tax revenue. The top 10 lost 341. Okay, guess what the bottom 10 lowest tax states gained? $341 billion.
Oh,
Did you understand what just happened right there?
It's a swap.
It's a
Yeah,
swap.
that's
It's
what I
like
was gonna
you
say, just
moved
flipped them.
$341 billion of money under management at Goldman to Morgan Stanley. That's exactly what happened. So COVID was a great case study for us to see what works, what doesn't work. My concern right now with a state like California, do you think California, how quickly do you think California could flip? And if yes, what would be the reason for it to flip?
If I knew the answer to that, you'd be talking to me from Sacramento. I don't know. I liken the average voter in California to a drug addict. You got to hit rock bottom and start rethinking your votes. I've never been in favor of term limits. I'm now in favor of term limits for voters. If you vote Democrat 2 or 3 times, you lose your right to vote. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
I just thought that at some point, even left-wing voters in California would go, you know what, I got to go a different way. But they haven't. When I was running, the wife of a retired Motown record mogul, she's in her 80s, he's in his 80s, was murdered.
Oh, snap.
He had armed security at his house. Some guy who shouldn't have been on the street, one of these lifelong criminals, broke into the house, shot and killed her.
Damn.
A UCLA graduate student was working at a high-end furniture store in an area of LA called Hancock Park, where Maxine Waters has her mansion. She was stabbed to death by another homeless guy.
Damn.
And I thought maybe...
See, man, homeless people are crazy, man. I'm telling you, they on drugs and stuff. Okay, look, everybody's like, oh, we got to help them and everything. I'm not saying, yes, we have to, but I'm talking about most of the damn time, they don't want help. They just want to get high and do all that kind of stuff. And it's just, dude, what do you want to do? It's like this. Okay, when I have some people that we're driving and they're like, oh man, I feel bad. They give them like $5. It happened the other day actually. The person I was with, he give this homeless dude that dude look high as hell. He's like, oh, he just like took the $5, and I was like, dude, he about to get high, man. You could tell. You could look in his eyes, man. It's like you could just give him like a water, give him food, give him something like that. Don't give him money, because they're gonna use that money for something wrong, for liquor, drugs, other stuff like that. Damn, man, you guys.
At this point, maybe some people on the left might rethink their assumptions, but they haven't.
And Larry, what do you think it is from like all those cities? Is it just the indoctrination is so strong? Like if you're living in Chicago, Baltimore, New York, San Francisco, and you're seeing everything, is it just like, listen, we're not going to admit that this is shit. We're going to stick with it, because Democrats, they fall on the sword. They stay loyal to the party. And it's like, no, we're good.
I think it's that. It's indoctrination.
Oh yeah, what I'm talking about. I went to McDonald's right there in my town on the south side, and then the person they went to get some McDonald's. I didn't really want a McDonald's, but I'm there, and the driver is like, "Oh, give him $5." I'm like, "Dude, you're tripping. $5? Why don't you give him like $1, like the cheapest meal right there, like probably the burger right there, and that's cool. Don't give him $5, man. What the heck's the matter with you?" Oh, I'm like, tripping, bro.
That plus a belief Republicans are just bad people. We just can't. It's not that we disagree about abortion, about taxes, about spending. We are bad people, fundamentally bad people. They've convinced people that way.
Well, this goes back to something we talk about all the time, and that's, why do people vote? Do they vote for personality, or do they vote for policy?
People go personality most of the time.
I would argue that it's overwhelmingly about personality.
Yes, they do,
right?
most of the time.
So you could go the policy argument all you want,
and they
right?
don't care.
Taxes,
it's all because they say something good.
Yeah, but if you don't have a charismatic candidate on the left or on the right running it, like, you're never going to win. It's just not going to happen. People vote on personality.
I don't see it that way. I think people vote mostly on what they perceive to be their best interest.
Not really,
wrong
man.
about that, but they vote on what they perceive to be in their best interest.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another,
I disagree that one though, because most of that time, because come on, man, you have Joe Biden. He's like he got the most votes all time. Okay, and people don't know nothing of the stuff he was talking about. They just did it because they don't like Trump, and that's what I'm trying to tell people like that. I'm like, dude, I understand you don't like his personality, maybe, but you have to just listen what they're saying, though. That side. This dude can fall asleep, get up when he's as a president right now. I'm just like, man, this dude texts everything up, crazy, all that kind of stuff. And now everybody's all mad now because of that. Like, why don't you guys listen about both sides? You just listen to one side, not the other side. You have to listen both sides. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's true. Everything you're talking about Kelly, man. Kelly's like that. Oh, California. I love California. Born and raised over here, man. Love the weather, love it, everything's beautiful, but man, this freaking ugly with all this bullshit, and it's not cool. You talking about all that I talked about earlier. But hey, man, hit me in the comments, tell me what you think about this. You live in California, or if you moved, or if you're still here, tell me what you think about this. All right, man, hit my comments, like, subscribe, show love, peace.